Hello and welcome to the APMA podcast. It's Lozzy back with another episode for you guys. Now, I just want to say for the audio listeners, you won't notice this straight away, but you will notice it in the episode throughout. I've got a mic stand back, so no more of this grabbing the mic, moving it, and all that sort of shit. So hopefully you won't have to hear that throughout the podcast. You do have to put up my voice though. You do have to listen to that, unfortunately, but you've suffered through 186 episodes, at this point. Is it 186? 187. This one will be 187. So there you go. 187 fucking episodes. That's epic. If you asked me back in the day, did I expect to get to 187 episodes? Statistically, it's not on your side, right? Most podcasts don't reach like episode 25. But here we are, 187. Going, still enjoying it. People still enjoying it. So let's keep it going. Fuck it. Anyway, I want to talk about a few things today. One thing that's happening right now, as I speak, and as you listen or watch, is this spacewalk, the private spacewalk. Interesting. I'll put that on screen for a bit. Hopefully, it's not claimed to fuck, but it's a live stream of a live. Do you know what I mean? It's a live stream of something happening, so I can't need to put it on screen just for a few seconds so you can see what it's like. I mean, knowing my luck, they've probably just finished and are on the way back. But anyway, they're doing basically a private spacewalk right now, funded by some billionaire, as most things of this size would need to be funded by. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the new PS5 Pro, because my God, what the fuck? We'll go into that a bit later. And also, I watched the new Alien film and the new Beetlejuice film. I will just say out of the bat, I'm not a massive Tim Burton fan. Okay. So if you love Tim Burton films and you like the first Beetlejuice, I'm guessing you're probably interested in the second one, you know. But yeah, I'll talk about those briefly. I mean, I'll probably talk more about Alien because I thought that was fantastic. And it's the film I'm definitely more interested in out of the two. But anyway, let's start with a little bit of this spacewalk nonsense, eh? What's it all about then, eh? What's that? What's happening? You know what I mean? Stay hydrated. Billionaire pilot leads highly risky mission. Highly risky because he's not an astronaut, I'm guessing. I don't know. Space is dangerous. And as someone who's just watched Alien Romulus, I believe so. It is. I know it's fiction. It's science fiction. All right. It's not reality, but it could be. Taking place at 700 kilometers or 435 miles in altitude, the Polaris Dawn mission will see two astronauts. Oh, there are two astronauts going. So there's two astronauts and two private. You know what I mean? Two astronauts venturing outside the Crew Dragon into space while the other two remain inside. Oh, so they all are astronauts then, but it's private. Okay, right. I'm on board. When they said private, I thought like at least the majority of the crew would be just like regular people off the street, which doesn't make that much sense now I'm thinking about it. Anyway, the capsule will be completely decompressed and the whole crew will need to rely on their slim SpaceX developed spacesuits for oxygen. I'll tell you what, as I gulp a bit of water, loving that for the audio listeners. Um, SpaceX are just, they're on a roll, aren't they? They really are. Like, we did an episode, what was it, about this time in August, about a month ago, about the Boeing, is it Starliner aircraft? The one that where the astronauts were essentially stranded. When I say stranded, that was a bit of a exaggeration. They're in the National Space Station or the International Space Station in space because that makes sense. So it's not like, they're not dying. They're probably actually pretty excited to be in space, considering most of their, adult training life in their profession is to be in space. So you must have some level of, I don't know, enjoyment in space. So they're probably loving it. But anyway, Boeing uh, have had to basically recall the spacecraft back to Earth with no crew on board. And SpaceX are sending, or are going to send out, as far as I know, and as far as I last looked at it, SpaceX were going to send one of their spacecraft to not rescue them, but get them back. So SpaceX on a roll. They got all the good publicity at the moment. Um, and this is another, if this goes well, I might turn on the live feed and they may be dying, in which case I'll probably quickly turn it off again and describe what's going on, because I, I probably shouldn't keep on footage of people die. They'll cut away ages before it anyway. They'll know. They'll know. But yeah, what a fucking crazy thought that, you know, when was the first trip to the moon? Like, when was the first trip to the moon? Like, so first manned mission. I should know this really. Apollo 11, I think. 1969. Now, I know there's going to be people out there who say it never happened, but let's just pretend. Let's just pretend that it did. Okay. So, Apollo 11, spaceflight conducted by the United States from July 16th to July 24th of 1969. So, we're looking at like what 69, 70, best part of like 50. Oh, that might be, oh, that'll be over 50, won't it? Best part of 60 years. Within 60 years, we've gone from, allegedly, if you don't believe, you know, the moon landings were real, we've gone from allegedly, possibly, maybe getting people on the moon, astronauts on the moon in 1969, then like best part of 60 years later, um, they're on, well, they're not on a planet, they're just in space. But yeah, we've got a group of people doing a spacewalk. Pretty cool. The mission is being bankrolled by 41-year-old Jared, Isaacman. His middle name isn't sorry. I just had to say sorry for mispronouncing his first name. Do you know what I mean? A pilot and billionaire founder of electronic payment company Shift4, as was his inspiration for flight with SpaceX in 2021. It's taken me a while to kind of figure out and compute what that meant, but I do now. I think it means he has two companies. One is called Shift 4 and the other one is called Inspiration for Flight, I think. Unless they've done a tried to be clever and did the same thing like twice. His company name is Shift 4 and then they put Inspiration number 4 Flight with SpaceX in 2021. It makes more sense for him to have two companies. Let's be honest, he's a billionaire. Let's just, you know what I mean? Probably got more than one company. He has declined to say how much he is paying for the mission, but there are believed to have cost hundreds of millions of dollars based on Crew Dragon's roughly $55 million or 42 million pounds, the exchange rate per seat price for other flights. So you're looking at around about what, 120 mil dollars, and probably about 100 mil sterling. That's quite a lot. That is quite a lot. Not as much as I thought it was going to be, but it's still quite a lot. The others in Polaris include mission pilot Scott Petite, or Poteet 50, a retired US Air Force lieutenant colonel, and SpaceX employees Sarah Gillis 30 and Alla Menon 38. Both senior engineers at the company. Okay, so they know some shit. They know. They know what they're doing. We hope. But yeah, what I'll do now, let's see if they're still actually doing stuff. No. They were there was footage of them outside the capsule, but I guess what I'll have to do is just show some images of them outside. Um, so yeah, they're just at the moment. I'll just put it on screen. Just put it on screen, Lars. Just do it. Just do it, and I'll describe it for the audio listeners. Jesus Christ, shut your fucking mouth. What? Put that full screen, you swat. Talk to himself now. Yeah. So at the moment, they're live streaming. Apparently, the walk has been going on for about an hour, just over an hour. But at the moment, they've got some graphic of where they're like showing the position of the spacecraft in relation to the Earth, and then there's 4 pictures of the people who are on the spacewalk. Very entertaining, gripping, some say. Right, let's get rid of this, and I'll show you some images of them actually taking their first steps because that's annoying. Where is it? There we go. I mean, it's not much. You're not going to see much. I was hoping that they would actually live doing it. I thought I caught the first because they're not going out together. They do one at a time. So there's two staying in the craft, then two of them going up actually outside of the spacecraft. But they take it in turns. They're not both going out at the same time. So I thought there'd be a little bit of a time in between one going out and then coming back in and the other one going up. But it looks like they're just straight, almost like a tornado tagged themselves in on WWE. Do you know what I mean? A niche reference for anyone who used to watch wrestling or still does, because there are people out there. There are, and you know, hard drives need to be checked. No, I'm joking. All right, enjoy what you enjoy. All right, fucking hell. Yeah, I'll show you a picture and I'll describe it best I can for the people at home who are not watching. So imagine, right? I know this is a quite a novel thing to try and imagine. It says new post there, so they might have just all burnt up. Um, that's horrible. That's a horrible thought. I should not say things like that, but I'm gonna. Anyway, imagine just the color black on a photo, and then center at the bottom, a little capsule head with a door open, with a man wearing, or woman, because I can't tell, whoever it is wearing a SpaceX astronaut's uniform. I don't know if there's a specific spacesuit. There you go. Got it. There was a specific word for it. Sorry, my mind is it's a bit like groggy at the moment. And I don't know why. Yeah, imagine there's someone just, from their knees upwards outside of the capsule in a spacesuit. And that is what you got. Obviously, if you're watching this, you can see what I'm talking about, but you can see nothing other than the partially illuminated spacesuit and the top of the capsule. The rest of it, as it would be, is just completely black, pitch black. So there we go. Some say, "Where's the sun? Is the sun real?" Let's not go down that road. Okay, let's not do that because I feel like this could be a very long episode. But yeah, I don't know. What are they being illuminated by? External lights? Maybe the sun's facing the other way. I don't know. I'm speculating here. But yeah, there's not really much to go on. I was hoping they would be doing it live so you could see live, but that's okay. Everyone is just, do you know what I mean? I can confirm the hatch is now closed and they have finished the spacewalk. Great. Great timing. Pressure indicates good seal. Mission control tells the astronauts reassuringly, I can't read. It's been well established. I can't, but I'll still try. So yeah, that's the astronauts doing the private spacewalk. You know, for like 50 mil a pop. Not too bad, is it? It's quite a. It's an expensive few days. I don't know when they first took off. When did they first take off? Might have been like a few days ago. I think it was. I'm sure it was a few days ago. Oh, there is some pictures. I'll show you some pictures of the blast off. Doesn't say when it actually happened though. It shows the pictures of them literally lifting off, but not when. Anyway, I'll show you the pictures and I'll do my best. Well, I'm not. There's no point me describing them to you because I'm just not going to be able to do it very well. I'll try. I'll try. So this is a time exposure from a photographer, and you can see the trail and the trajectory of which the space rocket at that point um, took off and followed. And then you got another picture underneath where you can see the takeoff or the liftoff in process a few seconds after the launch. And then you've got here a view of the Earth and the Dragon capsule Skywalker spacewalk platform shortly after the Polaris Dawn crew launched into an orbit. So you can see the Earth. Now, there's going to be people out there are going to scream Photoshop. I understand. I get it. You don't believe it. That's fine. I kind of believe it. I believe this happened. Putting my position fully on the table. But if you don't, that's cool. If you think this is Photoshop, that's fine. I don't believe you. I don't agree with you. But you can have that opinion. As someone who, you know, sees themselves as very free thinking about certain things, you can have that opinion. That's fine. I don't agree with it. I don't think most people do, but you do you. Jesus Christ. Why did that get so political? Completely from my own doing, my own fault. Anyway, what a great experience that must be just to, go fuck it. I'm going to space because I can, because you know, I'm part of a team where I know what I'm doing. I'm part of a company that fucking sends rockets into space on like a monthly basis at this point. But yeah, I don't, would I go? Probably. If I was trained and had the expertise and knew what I was doing, would I go as like, if we're to, depends, because you don't want an ocean gate happening in space, right? You just don't, because it's bad publicity and it's not, people die. Obviously, that's horrific. But the publicity, oh, I mean, it didn't help. I mean, a good strategy for building in a business, uh, and then basically providing a specialized product and service, such as going to space or going deep underwater in a somewhat tested submarine. I feel like a good strategy isn't having the person who bankrolls the whole thing going on the first, like, proper or one of the first few missions, because what happens when they die? Like, the money just stops, surely. Like, they don't have control over stuff anymore because, they're dead. It's just not a great strategy, is it? I don't think the actual person, I'm not saying the person who did this, who bankrolled the spacewalk is going, because I don't think he actually did. I think they were just all appointed or asked if they wanted to go. Oh no, he did go. What? I'm so confused. Hang on. Like astronauts from left, mission specialist Anna Menon. She is one of the people we mentioned. Pilot Scott Petit. He is one of the people we mentioned. Commander Jared Isaacman. Oh, there you go. So he did go. And mission specialist Sarah Gillis. There they are. I'll put them on screen. People want to see them. So I'm guessing this one is Jared Isaacman here. The tall fella. The tall fella. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Talking like Matt Berry. Oh, whilst we're on the subject, oh my god, what a great fucking Matt Berry. If you don't know who Matt Berry is, here are some things you need to watch, right? If you like the IT crowd, you'll know who he is. He's in that. You need to watch Toast of London. Great series. And you need to watch What We Do in the Shadows. And if you've watched the Fallout TV show, he plays a little role in that. That I'm sure if you know who Matt Berry is, you will understand why I'm so hyped about him. He's so funny. His pronunciation of things in pretty much all of the things I've seen him in have been great. And that's one of his like trades, you know. His his whole it's not his whole shtick, but a large part of his comedy is the way he pronounces things and how he changes inflections on stuff. He's funny. Funny guy. Very good in all the shows I listed. My favorite would probably be What We Do in the Shadows and Toast of London. Absolutely brilliant TV shows. Clem Fandango. That's all I'm saying. If you've watched it, you know. If you know, you know. Anyway, enough of my Matt Berry loving. Um, but What We Do in the Shadows, probably one of the best. It's one of the best comedy TV shows that is probably received, in my opinion, the least amount of coverage or publicity because I only found out about it about a year and a half ago. And it like boggles my mind because of how many people are attached to it who have very big kind of standing in terms of like their notoriety. So yeah, just check it out. It's a great watch. Um, I'll give you a very basic premise. It revolves around a group of vampires trying to be vampires, and it's filmed and edited very similar as to the US Office, like their talk, like floating talking heads interviews between different vampires. But this it's just such a funny premise to add in like the Office kind of I don't know, like is it the framework of the Office is how it's filmed? Probably. I don't know. But yeah, it's filmed very much like The Office, interviews, you know, there's characters that they are aware of them being filmed, so it breaks the fourth wall a lot, which is something I like. But yeah, very good. And I definitely recommend it. Now, let's talk about something a little bit different. Okay. Now, if you're a bit of a gamer, bit of a gamer, you know what I mean? Um, I don't know why I did that. It just comes into my mind and I do it. If you're a gamer, if you're a gamer, then you would have probably heard that the PS5 Pro is a thing. Now, if gaming isn't your shtick, gaming isn't your thing, you probably don't give a fuck. Don't worry about it. We'll probably only spend about 45 minutes on it. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'll try, you know, I want to explain how, you know, how I feel about the product. And people, if they haven't known already, now they know. And I want to inform them, you know, shut the fuck up. Just if you want to stay, stay. If you want to leave, fuck off. All right. Anyway, let's have a look at this. PS5 Pro games with the most impressive visuals ever possible on a PlayStation console. Wank. Absolutely wank marketing. That is so shit. Like as a tagline, play PS5 games with the most impressive visuals ever possible on a PlayStation console. Because if you played them anywhere else, this would not be a great claim. I.e., if you played games on PC that were once on PlayStation, you probably get better visuals from that. But I'm not going to try and downplay this. There's people who are going to be hyped for it. I understand. But here we go. So apparently it has super resolution, PSSR. I don't even know what the fuck that is. I think it's like a enhanced. Basically, it uses something to enhance the resolution. Oh, it literally says there. Get super sharp image clarity on your 4K TV. Who here? Don't answer straight away because I'm recording this, so there's no one going to be answering me unless I have ghosts. But let's not hope that is. Let's just not hope that's real. Anyway, who's got 4K TV? I'd say most people now probably have to some degree a 4K TV. But when PS5, when 4K was first like a thing that was marketed on consoles, probably I'd say around PlayStation 4 Pro was when it was first like in your face. I don't know if that many people did have 4K televisions, but anyway, they got them now. Get super sharp image clarity on your 4K TV using AI enhanced resolution for ultra high definition play with astonishing detail. And to show that, they have put what can only just be described as a multi like so imagine like the color palette from like yellow, orange, all the way to like through red, purple to blue, and put that on a big kind of screen, um, just to show you like the extended resolution that you can get from this new PS5 Pro. If you are sensing I'm being a bit facetious, that's the word, then that's because I am. Because I really don't feel like it. This, my prediction for this is that it sells astonishingly well, or is a heap of shit and doesn't sell at all. I don't think there's any middle ground for this. I think they're banking on something that might. I don't know. I just don't feel like there's enough in this console, especially at the price that it is, to make people want to fucking splash out for it. If you don't already have a PS5, maybe. But if you don't have a PS5, I don't think this is going to make you skip the PS5 and go straight to the Pro. I don't know. Anyway, what else has it got? Optimized console performance, reach higher and more consistent frame rates for silky smooth gameplay with support for 60 and 120 hertz displays. There you go. So it's got support for higher refresh rate screens. That's great. If you don't know what that means and you're here just, trying to deal with, negotiate the situation, I'll try and break it down for a little bit. My technical knowledge is not great. So seek advice elsewhere. But I'll try and break it down. So refresh rate is basically the speed that the screen can show what is happening from the machine, whether it be PC, console, whatever. Um, so that basically the higher the refresh rate, the more smooth things look, and it's better usually for like first person shooters or action games where like movements and things like crosshairs, aiming has more of a speed, like critical timing element to it. So if you're trying to aim down the sight and shoot someone with a very thin crosshair, you're gonna want a faster refresh screen because if you don't, there's frames that will have skipped or like it won't be as smooth, is what I'm trying to say. So from a purely competitive standpoint, most competitors will try and get the highest refresh rate they possibly can from a screen or machine because it does depend on both. But anyway, what else? Advanced ray tracing. Experience next level realism with ray traced reflection, shadows, and high quality global illumination as you explore stunning game worlds. I mean, this is my personal opinion, right? I understand that a lot of people are probably not going to agree with me, but I would rather the game run smoother than it look nice. That's my personal opinion. A lot of people will want it the other way around. They want it to be as absolutely stunningly beautiful as it possibly could be. But I can't, I can't play a game. I mean, I'm going to contradict myself in a matter of fucking seconds, but I'm going to finish my sentence. Right? I can't play games that are only about the beauty and the fidelity because the performance often is really stuttery and just shit. Having said that, one of my favorite studios is, well, synonymous at the moment, perhaps not now, but they have been the last like 10 years. Very famous for having buggy games and not the best performing games. So there is a pinch of salt that you have to take with my statement. But now, if you told me you can prioritize one over the other, what would you want to do? Have it run well or have it look really nice? I'd rather have it run well. I'm not a massive like there are levels. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't want the game to then start looking like it came out on the GameCube or fucking the PS1. Okay. I expect better visuals today than that. And to be able to run it at decent frame rates and, without the game fucking crashing every 4 seconds. But is it the be all and end all? In my opinion, no. And then ray tracing is one of those things that I'm like, it looks really nice. It looks really nice. And if you're playing something and you want to be immersed, and that is the thing that gets you to that level of immersion, then ray tracing is cool. But for me, I don't really give a fuck about ray tracing. I really don't. If it looks good, it looks good. But if it doesn't make up for the game not being good, so that's my bare bones level of understanding on it. PS5 Pro enhanced games. Experience these incredible PS5 titles enhanced with the power of the PS5 Pro for improved visuals and performance. So they've got The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2, Demon's Souls, Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Forbidden West. I still haven't played that game. Until Dawn. Are they not they're remastering that game? Okay. Ratchet and Clank. I think it's the latest one. So there you go. That's like 8 games. Was it? Or was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games? 7 games they've put on there that will be you will be able to enhance those by just playing it on a PS5 Pro. Play at 60 FPS, SPS, fucking hell, or up to 100 FPS. Why the fuck can I not read 3 letters? It's just why? With 4K output and ray tracing for compatible games. With the power of the PS5 Pro console, compatible games can be played at 60 frames per second or up to 120 frames per second with ray tracing and AI enhanced 4K resolution using PSSR and all at the same time on your 4K TV. So the AI enhanced 4K resolution thing is like they already have it in other things. So I think if you know your PC parts, you know your companies that make PC parts. Nvidia have their DLSS, I think it's called, which is basically a AI or machine learning thing that I don't know the exact science of it, but they take what is being shown on screen, what is being fed into the monitor, and it basically, with AI and with machine learning and with software, upgrades, fills in some blanks, fills in some missing parts, and makes it look better, smoother. I think that's my limit of my knowledge. Okay. Is it enough to want to buy a PS5 Pro? I probably argue considering where this is based price wise, I would honestly start looking at PCs. Uh, so you've got 2 terabytes of storage. That is good. That is a plus point because the Xbox Series X and the PS5 base versions, they should have come with 2 terabytes of storage. I mean, it is absolutely fucking ridiculous that these consoles launched without a full terabyte of storage. Although it is listed as a terabyte on the box, on the website, it's not the actual storage you get. Because if you're someone who plays something like Warzone, that's almost, I would say, the best part of 300 gig just gone straight away. So I think on the base PS5, I think you've got about 850 to 880 gigabytes of storage because the rest of it was portioned so you couldn't use it. It was basically designated for only things that the PS5 would keep on it and run, whatever it may be. So the amount that you get isn't the amount you're advertised isn't the actual amount that you get. And that has been true not just with this console cycle, but f- for fucking ever. Okay. So 2 terabytes of storage, at least you basically guaranteeing yourself at least 1.5 to 1.8 gig, eight 8 terabytes of storage, which is good because games are fucking big and you keep having to delete one to install another. I ain't even got into the point about which a lot of people are upset about is there's extras on this console that you have to pay extra for. So I'll get into the price. Oh, also it does support the latest wireless connectivity, which I think is it Wi-Fi? Is it 7? They're on now. It'll mean largely fuck all to most people. Basically, there's new iterations and new updates to the wireless, how you receive information wirelessly from your router or whether it be fucking hotspot. I don't know. It's just they're developing new and often faster um, iterations of it, but this basically supports the latest one. If you're interested, this point do want to stress because there's a lot of people misunderstanding this PS5 Pro game boost and backwards compatibility. The PS5 Pro console can play over 8,500 PS4 games. With the PS5 Pro version of the Game Boost feature, you can enjoy faster and smoother frame rates in some of the PS4 and PS5's consoles' greatest games. So, to me, this is worded specifically. It's the can play bit of the first sentence that I just read out is really important because a lot of people will think, fucking, let's go. Over 8,500 PS4 games now have this game boost backwards compatibility thing like baked in. Like it's gonna work straight away. I would say that's not really possible because although 8,500 games would be cool, that's a lot of fucking games to have to update and make sure that they work with this new backwards compatibility thing. So that would be one thing I'm a bit dubious of. Don't just think that there are going to be, 8,500 games, PS4 games that you can play in this enhanced game boost mode. Like, just set your expectations. I don't think that's going to be available at launch. I don't that amount of games. I'd be surprised if that ever gets reached throughout the PS5's lifespan, in my opinion. But there we go. I might be wrong. The DualSense wireless controller is the same, I think. So we'll skip that as the same as PS5. Um, I think that is it. But what we now need to do is look at the price of the PS5 Pro. And my fucking god, are you going to be paying for this if you decide to get it? Um, let's have a look. Fuck me, man. This is just so ridiculous. Like, the price of it is the one thing to me that I don't understand. I've managed to find this on fucking Reddit. How the fuck is this the first image that I've found of it on fucking Reddit? So this is the official price worldwide. Um, Available the 7th of November, 2024. So that's soon. That is soon. And as far as I'm aware, that is the most up to date one, or the up to date information. So I'm assuming that is as of nailed in, definitely happening, but it could change, as we all know. So $699.99. If you're in America, you are winning, because if you are in Europe, you are getting absolutely gouged to fuck, right? The UK are already getting gouged to fuck because $700 does not equal £700. And that has been the case for basically as long as I can remember. The UK has always paid a fucking excessive amount for the same product because of exchange rates being the way they are. So 700 quid is not the same as $700. £700 is worth quite considerably more than $700. In fact, if you went to somewhere f- to get money to go abroad to America and they offered you for your £700, $700, you probably fucking stab them, because that is fucking abysmal. But anyway, what's even worse, and I don't know about the yen, is that the yen the one at the bottom? I don't know about that. So that might be a really good fucking price. I reckon it's probably not, but it might be. But it's the euro. If you live in Ireland and you want to buy this, I only picked Ireland because that's the nearest, pretty much, to me. You could argue France is probably closer, but we won't go there, or the Netherlands. Anyway, if you're in either of those or any of those countries, anywhere that uses a euro as your main currency, you're getting shafted, because again, $700 does not amount to $800. It doesn't. So I don't know why this happens. So, and this, it seems more egregious than I've known before, because at least I thought that euros used to be at the same level as pounds in terms of what was normally charged for things, even though the pound is, on exchange rate, more valuable than the euro, but we won't go there. Um, so yeah, if you're living anywhere that uses euros, you're getting shafted big time. But 700 quid, that's a lot. You're getting into territory now where you could buy like a, not very powerful, not like top of the range, but like, I'd say bottom to mid level gaming PC now. Um, so yeah, that is, in my opinion, a horrific price point. Bearing in mind that I'm pretty sure that the digital version, oh, but we will get into that later. The digital version of the PS5 now costs under £400 most places. To lob another £300 on the price, I don't know. Personally, I would not get this because I don't feel there's enough of a boost in terms of what you get for the money you pay. Also, you're getting shafted wherever you are because of these reasons, right? And I don't think of me as an Xbox fanboy. I'm really not. I have no allegiance at all. In a heartbeat, if they release the next pit like the PS6 and it looks like it's better than the Xbox, I will go for that. I will go for that. I've talked about how I got my Xbox and the reason I have it. You know, all know the story. I've been fucking. I've had PS1, PS2, Xbox, like the original Xbox. I've had Xbox 360s. I've had PS4s. I've now got an Xbox Series X. I'm gaming on PC. And if I'm honest, one of the big takeaways from this is this to me that sort of the rumblings coming out of Microsoft at the moment are they're not going to be taking part in the console manufacturing side anymore. My kind of feel that I get is they're going to exit the console market. So it'll be left to PlayStation and Nintendo basically. And PlayStation and Nintendo, in my opinion, don't really compete against each other because I mean, they technically do because the PlayStation has the PS Portal. Why the fuck anyone bought that, I don't understand, but it did sell really well. Nintendo has the Switch, has the all the fucking DSs that you could ever fucking imagine, but they don't really compete on the same level in terms of home consoles as PlayStation do or Sony. So that will leave basically Sony to clear up anyone that wants a console. But if they start pricing them like they are now with this PlayStation 5 Pro, what this sets is a precedent. Okay. If you're charging PS5 Pro levels, 700 quid here in the UK, if the PS6 comes out and it is anywhere under 750, I'd be absolutely gobsmacked. I would be astounded. But they may see it as a point of like, right, if we haven't got any major competition, who the fuck's going to undercut us? No one. So we'll make it more expensive. And that's my unfortunate prediction. But what my point was is that I think this will single handedly drive more people towards PC gaming than there has been a drive towards PC gaming as of yet. Three reasons. One, because this is starting to look like in the realms of pricing a low to mid level PC, depending on the parts you pick and if you buy pre made ones or you make it yourself, whatever. I bought a second hand one. I would like my next one to be something I build. I'll probably be shit at it, but it's something I want to try and learn. Anyway, number two, a lot of PlayStation games, PS5, PS4 games are now coming to PC. Not at the same time, maybe a year, 6 months, 2 years, whatever. They do originally stay on the PlayStation exclusively for a while, but they eventually make their way onto PC. So, if that's going to continue to happen, why would you want to buy into a system that charges you this much when you're going to get the game anyway, maybe a bit later, but you'll get it later on the PC. So that's the second reason. The third is that there's a lot more hidden costs when you consider console gaming, unfortunately. With buying a PC, you buy the PC, you buy the games, and that's it. There are extras you can buy. Obviously, if you want to get a fucking absolutely decked out chair, fucking RGB to the fucking living tits keyboard, if you want to get a pro mic, if you want to stream, if you want a camera, it's all possible. If you want RGB nipples, You can go there, I'm sure. If not, it's a great fucking business idea. Anyone can have that. RGB nipples, live stream. You'll be absolutely there, mate. I mean, you probably get banned on. Actually, if you're female, you probably wouldn't get banned on Twitch. Anyway, enough about Twitch because there's a lot of stuff. Anyway, look, there's a lot of hidden costs. You don't have to pay for online subscriptions like to access games online on PC. You do on PlayStation, you do on Xbox. You don't have to buy a controller for PC. You do on Xbox, you do on PlayStation. I mean, I do play with controllers on my PC because I can't use PC controls because I'm retarded. But if you learn how to play with your keyboard, WASD, and fucking all that shit, you can do it without having to buy expensive controllers. I think the controller for a PS5 is like 60 quid, 70 quid. Ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. I'm not saying the Xbox is any better. I think their controllers are more simple and are probably about 40, 50 quid. Still expensive. But a couple of things specifically about the PS5 Pro. So I want to get this article up because I don't know why this would fuck me off to this level, but it really does. I really hate it when companies do this. And I'm not saying it's only Sony. Okay. I'm not saying it's only Sony. But when you see shit like this, so this is an advert in Argos. Everyone knows where, like, what Argos is in the UK. Big, big chain. Well, they used to be a big chain, but they're now part of Sainsbury's. Anyway, they're a big, like, place people go to when they want, like, think of like Christmas presents. It does a load of stuff, a whole bunch of stuff, like furniture, gaming stuff. Uh, they did jewelry back in the day. I don't know if they still do jewelry, but they did. Mobile phones, everything that you could really think of, toys, all that sort of shit. They do it all. Now, this is an advert for a vertical stand for the PS5. Um, this isn't included in the PS5 Pro. So if you want to stand the console up, which you don't have to do, but some people rather have it upright rather than on its side, the official PlayStation 1 costs 30 quid. This one is £25. So that's an additional cost if you want to have that. The one that really would fuck me off is I don't know if they have it on this one here. No, they don't. I'll have a look and try and find it whilst I talk about it. The one that would really fuck me off is this next one. Now I don't know if you noticed looking at the PS5 Pro, it is entirely digital, so there's no disk drive on it. Okay, so you don't. I know most people buy games. I'm on the same. I am very guilty of this. I buy all of the games I've ever gotten for my Xbox Series X have all been digital. All the games that I've bought on PC are digital. My PC doesn't have a disk drive in it. So I'm aware of the hypocrisy of this statement, but it's just that if you're buying buying a console, right? At least put the disk drive in there. So if people do choose to buy disc versions of games, they can play them. Instead, they've done a absolute fucking 180 and they don't offer the PS5 Pro currently with a disc drive, but you can buy one separately. And the price of them at the moment, as we speak, I'm going to do English price or UK price, £100. £100. So if you want your console to be upright and have a disk drive, you are gonna have to pay over 830 quid, around about. Depends if you get the official Sony stand, 830 quid. If you buy the cheaper stand, you might be able to get away with spending like 820 quid, right? Now, if you add all those together, this is without PlayStation Plus or the subscription to online gaming, which at the moment I don't even know how much it is, but let's just say on the cheap side, it's tenner a month, right? So that's another 120 quid a year. You're getting very close now to, I would say, mid to maybe just hitting a bit of high level of PC components if you buy it yourself and put it all together. I don't know. It's it's not doing it for me. I don't really rate this. I don't think it's what people wanted. But do I think people will buy it? Probably. It's a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. But the PS Portal sold, and I thought that was a pile of shit. Is it the PS Portal? Yeah, the PS Portal at the moment is you can buy that at Argos for 200 quid. It was basically imagine like a I'll show you, but for the audio listeners, imagine a Dual Shock controller, PS5 controller. Imagine that split down the middle, pulled apart, and then just put a screen in between it. That's what they've done. This is the Portal. Now, the reason I thought this was absolutely shit, it came out about a year ago, November 2023. All this does is stream games. You can't. It doesn't play games on it natively. Like you can't download games to it and play it. You have to stream games from an existing console. So you play it over Wi-Fi. You play it over your internet. It streams the game from the console to the Portal. It's I don't know. Just I don't understand why that would sell, but people like it, and people have bought it. They've sold really well. It's highly rated. I don't get it. I don't get it. I you know for probably about £200 more if you really wanted a proper portable gaming item or machine, you could get a Steam Deck and the Steam. What out of just pure intrigue, let me just see how much Steam decks are. And at this point, it was not the upgraded screen one. All right. Steam Deck. Let's have a look, okay? Now I know Steam Decks have gone like they've had a little bit of a price dip. So you can get a let's pop it on the screen. You can get a Steam Deck currently for 350 quid. And this is new. You could probably buy a used one for much less. So this one here's got the old screen, LCD screen. These ones to the right have got OLED screens, therefore much higher in price. But 349 quid for me, I know you only get 256 gigs of storage, which is shite. I do understand it's shite. But on something that's portable, you're probably more inclined and more forgiving of the fact that you're going to have to swap out games because of the fact that it fits into your fucking hand instead of being like as big as this. You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, that was the better buy, even with the LCD screen, because it played games from the console. It wasn't streaming console. It wasn't streaming games from your already existing console. So you could buy this and not have to own anything else. Whereas the Portal, you had to own a console that would be able to stream the games to it. It just made no fucking sense, but it sold really well. So my point is, even if something doesn't seem that good of a deal on the surface, people will probably still fucking buy it, which might happen. But yeah, that's my kind of. It wasn't really a rant about the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's just I don't understand why it exists at that price point. If it was like 500 quid or 550 quid, it makes a little bit more sense. It's kind of like a mid-gen refresh, mid-gen upgrade on what you have currently. But for that price, I mean, if you want, even if you want the ability just to play the games that you have on disc on the PlayStation 5 Pro, you're looking at 800 quid. You know, and if you're in Europe, you're looking at 900 euros. These prices are towards PCs. Like, in my opinion, just get a PC. I mean, even pre-built ones will probably do decent gaming wise on it for 900 euros. That's my opinion. You might not be the same. You might think the same, but I just think it's a bit of egregious price hike. And I'm just saying, I don't think that it's going to bode well if someone like Microsoft with Xbox doesn't start making consoles. If they just stop making consoles, rather, then for me, this is just going to get worse. But there might be someone else who comes in. You know, Steam have tried home consoles before. That didn't work. But the Steam Deck has absolutely flew out the door. So who knows? It could be a opportunity for someone else. But I want to talk about quite briefly a couple of films that I've seen. I'll start with Beetlejuice. I've not I said that at the start. I'm not the biggest Tim Burton fan. I don't really like it's not like I don't like his films. I just don't like them, if you know what I mean. I don't dislike them. I just don't like them. So there's so many films you can think of, but you know, Beetlejuice is one of the big ones. It's probably one of the more ones that people are like. It's synonymous for at the time how long it was between there being a sequel or a second film to Beetlejuice. It's one of those pop culture films. It's one of those culty sort of films. I thought the new one was all right. I mean, I like the fact Danny DeVito was in it for about a minute. That to me was like, I was like, ah, Danny DeVito's in it. That's cool. And he was in it for about a minute and a half. Uh, I won't tell you what happens to him if you don't, if you've not seen it. But if you know, you know. You know what I mean? Um, I mean, all the main, pretty much most of the main cast come back, apart from the dad of the family, and I don't even remember the family's name. That's bad. The couple who owned the original house in the original don't return, so you don't see them. The father of the family who took over the original house in the film isn't in it, but he is in it. He's in it in like the Tim Burton like stop motion when they do the random bits of stop motion stuff in the film. He is in it in a couple of scenes there, and then he's also in it, but you don't see his face. I won't go into why, but you don't see his face. I don't know the reasoning behind that. I'm assuming there is a reason behind it, and I'm assuming someone's already talked about it or looked it up. But he's not in it. Um, it's an okay film in my opinion. From what I can remember of Beetlejuice, the original, which I watched quite a while ago, it gave nods to the old film, which it would have done, considering that the only reason this is really a thing is because of the popularity of the first. Um, but yeah, I think if you enjoyed Beetlejuice, you should theoretically enjoy this film. Some of the jokes in it are fucking lame, but I think they're meant to be that way. I don't remember. I feel like Beetlejuice, the character, I feel like in this film is just not as funny, not as funny. But there are funny moments. There are moments of like some gore and or like I would. It's not really violence. It's not violence because it's not like visceral violence, but there are bits that are like more gory, which people will obviously like from the original are in this too. The I don't I this thing with Winona Ryder, right? I'm not about to criticize her. It's just in this film. I don't remember her from the last film being as fucking annoying. But she is quite annoying in this film. And it's more the character than her, to be honest, because I don't know her personally, obviously. But I liked her in Stranger Things. So it doesn't make sense for her to be this annoying to me if it's just her in this film. But yeah, the characters, I don't know why, just annoyed me. Um, Visually, it's a Tim Burton film. So you are going to get assaulted to the max with a whole raft of different color palettes and different versions of filmmaking in one because that's the way that Tim Burton does films. But yeah, I think you should go and see it definitely if you like the first. That's all I can really say. Now, on to Alien Romulus. This is I'm gonna say this and I mean it. I fucking mean it. Right? This is as close to being as good as the first early Alien film, original Alien film, is that is it's as close to being as good compared to anything else that has come previous. Now, I want to qualify this with after Aliens, which was the James Cameron film, I liked Aliens. It wasn't the same as Alien. Obviously, it was a completely different feel, a completely different film, right? Alien Romulus goes back, in my opinion, to what made Alien great. If you've ever played Alien Isolation, the game, great game, very, in my opinion, underwhelming in terms of its uh, notoriety or let's just say lack of respect from gamers or gaming publications, right? I would say this film is very much like that game. And that game very much brought into the idea of trying to replicate the same sort of, let's say, environments, same feel, same atmosphere as the original Alien film. So already you're onto a winner for me personally. Now, it does get to the point in which the game got to where I was like, okay, what? But I still think it's great. It really is great. It's got the same atmosphere, it's got the same dread, it's got the same sort of just complete and utter despair at what the scenario is. You know, you've got, as ever, the Wayland Yutani corporation doing what they fucking do, which is, you know, causing people's lives to be a fucking misery and then also single handedly at the same time doing tests and stuff that you go, why are you doing this? Why? I won't go into too much further because I don't want to ruin the film, but it's the classic, you know, they venture into space, they find, or they, in this case, they were going They were always trying to find this craft, but then the reason why the craft became, uninhabited or stopped doing what it was meant to be doing becomes more apparent as they go on, and it wasn't what they thought it was. And that's a very common trope with, thriller or horror films, which I'm absolutely fine with. I just think that a lot of things in this film very much pay a very healthy amount of respect to the original Alien and some towards Aliens as well. Because with Alien, you had a crew of people. With this film, you have a crew of people. Now, it follows one person of the crew largely, but it follows slightly a different. I mean, the crews are very interchangeable. Like most of the characters are basically archetypes of different types of people, stereotypes, and it doesn't really matter because those are the people, unfortunately, probably not going to be there at the end of the film. But it follows the same path of like the main character is there until the end, and they are faced with increasing challenges along the way in the same way, but not. eh, They're done. The same things happen in terms of start be like it comes back, the alien comes back, you think it's fucking gone, they think they're fucking dead, it comes back somehow, then absolutely just you think, what the fuck is going on now? And it gets worse and worse in terms of the dread in the film, to the point where in this film, Alien Romulus, there is a scene where I literally was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I am like literally sat there going, what the fuck is going on? Not in a particularly bad way, though. I was like, that is revolting, but fuck it, we're here. And I was there for it. So I'd say it's Alien Romulus and Alien are the same up until like the last chapter of the film. Alien Romulus then takes a left turn, which you kind of saw coming, to be honest, because there were scenes that give you some exposition about certain stuff. But anyway, and then kind of joins the same group was like Prometheus. Um, and if you know what I mean, if you've seen Prometheus, you probably understand what's going to happen. I'm not going to ruin it for you any more than that. But I just think the atmosphere in the film, the alien itself looks fucking cool. Like, and it always has done. But this absolutely fucking brilliant. There's a scene towards the end of the film in Alien Romulus, which on the face of it, you think that's a fucking gimmick, but in actual like reality, it is fantastically done. So I don't know whether there was. I'm going to bring it back to gaming just very momentarily. So there are a couple of missions or quests in Starfield, right? I know I'm going left field here, but stay with me. There are a couple of missions in Starfield where you go onto a ship and the ship's um, gravity module is affected. It keeps shutting on and shutting off. So you have gravity for about 30 seconds, then you are without gravity. So you're floating around. You have to use your kind of jetpack to move around. So there's a scene in the film in Alien Romulus where the gravity um isn't stable, i.e., the gravity is basically on or off. And for this portion of the film, they do something that is so cool that made me go, "Oh, that's fucking sick." In the cinema, I went, "Oh, that's fucking sick." I literally said that out loud. It's very rare that the cinema gets me to mouth and say something like that out loud. Partly because, I'm a good little person. I don't want to disturb people's day. I was like, oh, that's fucking sick. So I won't go into detail, but there's alien blood. As we all know, it's acid. It sinks through the floor and it can destroy ships. Alien blood gets somehow out of the um, body of the aliens, and there's a scene where because the gravity shut off, the main character has to navigate through zero G this blood, this alien blood. I just thought that was cool. That's such a cool concept. Simple but cool. I respected it. I thought it was really good, and it made me say, "Oh, that's fucking cool" in the cinema. But yeah, there's a lot of, I'd say, a lot of throwbacks to the old film. There's throwbacks to Aliens. Um, so yeah, if you're a big Alien franchise fan, you should love this film. You should. Um, I don't really want to say any more about it because I feel I might spoil it. But Alien Romulus is probably, of all the films in the Alien franchise, extended franchise, I'm not even going to include the Alien vs Predator ones. Fuck that. Like the majority of them are absolute shite. Everything after Aliens, apart from Prometheus, in my opinion, and maybe, oh, what was it called? What was the one that came out a few years ago? Trying to think of its name. Uh, Covenant, Alien Covenant, right? I would say Alien Covenant was okay. Prometheus, I enjoyed. I understand there were some fans that were like, "This is shit." I did enjoy the film. None of them come close to Alien, the original. So I'd say out of the ones that are only really worth talking about are Aliens, Alien Romulus, Prometheus, and Covenant. I didn't like Alien 3. I didn't like all the one. What was the one with Ron Perlman in it? That was shit. Alien Resurrection, absolutely shite. Right, and it wasn't shit because Ron Perlman's in it. I actually quite like Ron Perlman, but anyway, I would say Aliens is always going to be the OG, the best in my opinion. But Alien Romulus is close behind it, in my opinion. It's the second best Alien film that I've seen. You can then fight amongst yourselves with Aliens, Prometheus, and Covenant, in my opinion. But the two best ones are Alien and Alien Romulus. Brilliant films. If you have not seen them, because there are still people out there who enjoy sort of horror-ish or thriller-ish films, fucking watch Alien, man. It's so good. It doesn't look like a film that came out when it did. I think it was I want to say 1979. I might be wrong. 79. It did come out in 79. Alien came out in 1979. It doesn't look like a film that came out the best part of like what 50 years ago. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. It is very well done. The best, in my opinion. And I think if you like that, you should then watch Alien Romulus. Brilliant film. I cannot recommend it enough if you are even semi interested in the Alien film franchise. Anyway, you got a bit of a longer episode today. Look at that. Hour and 20 minutes ish. Jesus Christ. Well, I've covered a lot of subjects today. I'll let you get on with your day. Thank you for joining me for this episode, whether you've been watching or listening. I hope you're having a really good day wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And I hope it continues that way too. And remember, hydrate yourself. I mean, it's not as warm right now, but you do need to keep yourself hydrated. Oh, right. Sayonara. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for being here. I fucked the outro up. I'll keep it in. See you in the next one. Up the APMA. Bye bye for now.